Welcome to another episode of Pursuing Wisdom. My name is Robert Davis, and today we're going to look at the first in a two-part series on the Abomination of Desolation. The traditional view is that the Abomination of Desolation is a pagan act that desecrates the Jewish temple. Most people believe the Abomination of Desolation actually has three fulfillments, two in the past and one in the future. All three of these arrangements have some problems that we need to address. In the first fulfillment, even though the temple was desecrated by setting up an altar to Zeus and sacrificing a pig on it, the temple was defiled but not destroyed. The first temple was destroyed almost 400 years prior to this event, and the second temple was destroyed approximately 200 years afterwards. So although there was an abomination committed, there was no corresponding desolation. The second fulfillment does have a desolation of the temple and Jerusalem, but it does not have a stated reason for it. So we do not know what abomination caused the desolation of Jerusalem in 70 AD. The third fulfillment has three problems. First, it completely overlooks the destruction of the temple and Jerusalem in 70 AD. Why would Jesus talk to his disciples about the destruction of a third temple that's more than 2,000 years in the future and not discuss the destruction of the second temple, which would occur in approximately 40 years? This scenario is just illogical. The second problem with the third fulfillment is that it requires Islam's holy site, the Dome of Rock, to be destroyed, and the Jewish temple to be rebuilt on the very same spot, without causing Armageddon. Then the Antichrist must come to power in the form of a person and deceive the Jews. Lastly, the Antichrist must destroy the temple for yet a third time. Since everyone knows the story of the Antichrist, how is he still able to do these things? This scenario is very convoluted and highly improbable. The third and biggest problem with the third fulfillment is the fact that Jesus eliminated the need for a third temple. The temple and its sacrifices under the law were only a shadow of what was to come through Jesus Christ. According to the book of Hebrews, chapter 10, God cannot and will not accept any other sacrifices other than Jesus Christ. The Apostle Paul stated, "We are the temple of God," in 1 Corinthians chapter 3, verse 16. Therefore, if we are the third temple, there cannot be any future man-made temple that God will honor. The destruction of Jerusalem in 70 AD fulfilled the prophecy. If this is the case, we should take a closer look at what Jesus had to say about the abomination of desolation, because somehow we missed it. When ye therefore see the abomination of desolation spoken of by Daniel the prophet, stand in the holy place. Whoso readeth, let him understand. Then let them which be in Judea flee into the mountains. Let him which is on the housetop not come down to take anything out of the house. Neither let him which is in the field return back to take his clothes. And woe unto them which are with child, and to them that give suck in those days. But pray ye that your flight be not in the winter, neither on the Sabbath day. For then shall be great tribulation, such as was not since the beginning of the world to this time. No, never ever shall be. Jesus said, we will see the abomination of desolation. Therefore, it will be visible to the human eye. The writer of Matthew stated, whoever reads this, let them understand. This means the reader needs spiritual understanding or discernment to connect the abomination to what was seen. Lastly, when the abomination begins, it will start the Great Tribulation. Therefore, the abomination is the cause of the desolation and the Great Tribulation. However we interpret the abomination of desolation, it must fulfill all three criteria in order to be correct. Since we know the abomination will trigger the Great Tribulation, it is crucial that we understand what it is exactly. The book of Daniel calls it the abomination that maketh desolate. The abomination is the cause or reason, and desolation is the effect or outcome. This means they do not have to happen simultaneously. I believe this is the reason we did not immediately grasp the cause of the destruction of the temple in 70 AD. It's because the abomination did not immediately cause the desolation of Jerusalem. What exactly is an abomination? In the Bible, an abomination is something that is detestable, offensive, or repugnant. It can refer to something that is sinful, wicked, or vile. It can also be a thing that causes disgust or hatred. Desolation means complete emptiness or destruction. So, in simple terms, the abomination that maketh desolate means the hatred that brings destruction. But let's be clear, we're not talking about what is an abomination to the Jews. I think this is another reason we have not connected the cause to the effect. We have been looking at things that are considered an abomination to Israel. For example, pigs or swine are an abomination to the Jews, but not to God. Pigs were created by God, and He declared that they are good. Clean and unclean animals were a physical example of what Israel should and should not do spiritually, as well as a dietary restriction. So instead of thinking about what is repulsive to Jews, we need to turn our attention to God. What exactly does God hate or consider an abomination? The book of Proverbs has the answer. These 6 things doth the Lord hate, yea, 7 are an abomination unto him. Number 1, a proud look. Number 2, a lying tongue. Number 3, hands that shed innocent blood. Number 4, a heart that deviseth wicked imaginations. Number 5, feet that be swift in running to mischief. Number 6, a false witness that speaks lies. Number 7, he that soweth discord among the brethren. We're finally getting closer to understanding the abomination that causes desolation. Now that we've identified what it is not, we can focus on what it is. Remember, it must be one or more of 7 things we know God hates. If not, we have identified the wrong thing. Don't miss our next video in this 2-part series where we find out exactly what is the abomination of desolation for both the first and the second temple. Please like and subscribe to our channel, and as always, be blessed.